Imagine walking into a classroom where everyone greets you with a smile. A school where everyone can feel safe, heard, and respected. Doesn't it sound like a great place to learn? Yes, exactly. But sad to say, not every school feels this way. In other schools, where bullying, discrimination, and lack of child support is rampant, and where students feel left out, afraid, and even unmotivated, that's where the idea of changing the school climate comes in. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. So, building upon this idea, this afternoon we are going to discuss about something very important for us as future educators, and that is by understanding what is school climate and how we can make our school a better place for everyone. But before we proceed, let's take a look on understanding what is school climate. As the name suggests, school climate, this refers to the overall atmosphere of the school. This is how people or children feel safe, how people treat each other, and how the environment supports learning. This means a positive school climate is someone that fosters respect, inclusivity, security, and a strong relationship where every member of the school community feels safe, supported, and included. This means that ensuring a welcoming and supportive environment for everyone is paramount. Now, moving on to the next aspect, let's take a look at understanding the 4 factors that shapes school climate. First is safety. Everyone, please read.
Creating a secure and supportive environment where everyone feels physically, emotionally, socially safe.
Thank you. When we say safety, safety refers to the overall state of security. This is how everyone feels physically, emotionally, and socially secure while creating a supportive environment for everyone. This means that a positive school climate is free from bullying, violence, and where everyone are included, supported, and encouraged to express themselves. The second one is what we call teaching and learning. So teaching and learning, this refers to the teaching process on how it supports the students' learning and how the environment helps everyone to succeed. This includes the quality of instruction or the teaching practices, also how students perceive learning or the learning process, and also this includes the laws and the rules followed and being implemented inside the school premises. And the third one is what we call community aspect. So community aspect refers to the quality of relationship or the way people treat and interact with one another. This means a positive relationship between all members of the school community, including students, parents, teachers, and the non-teaching staff, create a caring atmosphere where respect, fairness, and cooperation among all members are shown and beyond. The last one is what we call the physical layout or the environment. So school environment or the environment itself refers to the physical layout, size, and material resources of the school. This involves creating a well-designed, adequate resource and promoting a inclusive environment that fosters a conducive learning space for all. This means that creating a welcoming and supportive environment affects the academic success of every student and how people or how the member of the school community perceive school. Now, changing or improving the school climate highlights the importance for complementary strategies. So, here under the possible ways we can use to change or improve school climate. Fostering a strong relationship, ensuring safe and reinforcing positive behavior, creating a conducive environment, promoting open communication, and involving family, parents, and the community. Every member of the school community can thrive academically, emotionally, and even socially. And all of this may lead to a better student academic success, higher expectations, and teacher satisfaction. To put everything into account, changing or improving the school climate is not a one-time initiative, but a continuous process. This is a shared responsibility between all members of the school community, including the students, the teachers, the parents, and the non-teaching staff, to create a welcoming, supportive, and inclusive environment that offers growth for everyone. That's all, and thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I will be sharing something that deeply influences both teaching and learning, the organizational climate of school. But before that, I have a question. How do you ever walk into school and immediately feel either excited or tense even if you didn't know anyone is there? Yes or no? Alright, that feeling is what we call school climate. When we say school climate, this refers to the heart and soul of a school. It includes the feelings, behaviors, and structure that makes up the school's overall personality. Just like the weather affects how we feel outside, school climate also affects how people feel and perform inside the school. So for example, in a school wherein the teacher shares his or her ideas during meetings, students feel safe, and the principal supports new teaching strategies. That's the positive climate. Now let's go deeper on the 6 major types of organizational climate. The first one is the open climate. Everybody please read.
Healthiest and most ideal type of organizational climate. Supportive principal and motivated teachers. Open communication and teamwork.
Okay, thank you. When we say open climate, this is the healthiest and most ideal type of organizational climate because the principal supports everyone. Students and teachers also feel valued and respected. In this type of climate, communication is open as well as honest. The second one is the autonomous climate. When we say autonomous climate, the principal gives teachers a lot of freedom. This means that teachers are trusted to do their work independently and students will benefit from teachers who are confident and creative. Just like, for example, students enjoy learning because their teacher have the freedom to try new teaching strategies or methods that match students' interests. And the third one is the controlled climate. In this climate, the school is very strict. Teachers follow detailed rules and students may feel pressure to behave perfectly. Just like, for example, students behave well but feel stressed or afraid to commit mistakes because rules, they have to control or they have to follow the rules. And the fourth one is the familiar climate. Everybody please read.
The atmosphere is friendly and relaxed, but academic goals are often not taken seriously.
Okay, thank you. When we say familiar climate, the school feels warm and friendly, like a big family. But sometimes, this gets in the way of learning. So for example, the students feel close to teachers and staff, but learning sometimes becomes less serious because rules aren't always followed. And the fifth one is the paternal climate. In this climate, the principal is warm and kind and friendly, but makes most decisions alone. Students and teachers are treated well, but their voices may not be heard. Just like, for example, students are given treats and kind words, but they don't get much chance to share their opinions or to share their ideas because the principal, siya naman mismo ang make sa mga decisions. Siya naman mismo ang humatag o mga ideas, i-reject na niya ang mahatag sa teacher. And the last one is the closed climate. Everybody please read.
Most negative climate, poor communication, and low morale.
Okay. When you say closed climate, this is the opposite to open climate because this is the most negative type of organization. planning. Why? Because leadership is weak and communication is poor. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So to wrap it up, organizational planning may seem like an abstract idea, but it's something that we feel every day in a school setting. So as future educators, we won't just be teaching concepts, but also be helping shape the planning. Let's aim to be the kind of teacher who contribute to warm and open school environment where everyone